Name something in a bakery a baker might call his wife. Name something in a bakery a baker might call his wife. Go right ahead.
Muffin.
Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the list. You want to go for number 1?
Yeah, cupcake.
Number 4 on the list.
Oh my God.
Keep going.
It's the Scott and Alley Not For Air podcast. The rules are gone. The shirt is untucked. Here's Scott and Alley.
Woo! We are what was that move I just did? Woo! We are loaded for the podcast today. Welcome to the Scott and Alley Not For Air podcast. How is ya?
I'm good. I'm really good. I'm really good. Yeah. I feel like $1 million.
Do you want to see an antique before we get really started? This is for anybody that's able to view the podcast.
Sure.
So Allie and I had to run downstairs earlier a little bit, and we've gone through a spell here in our part of New York where it's been this late in October in the 70s and that, except for today it's down into the 50s, so it's a little chilly.
Yeah.
So I went, now this is a decoration in my office. This is not something I normally wear, but I'm like, damn it, I wish I had a jacket. This bad boy is a what were these things called? Not jersey jackets.
A Letterman's jacket.
Letterman's jackets. Look at that. It even has the name on it.
Wait, save this for the show too, because I have seen more kids now wear Letterman jackets.
My old station in Cleveland from 30 years ago.
And I used to have a Letterman's jacket when I graduated high school, and I think they went away for a while, but I think they're back. So let's actually talk about that on the show.
Oh, we can. By the way, I do have to say that thing's in remarkably good condition.
Oh, yeah. I kind of wish I would have kept mine. Mine was very, very heavy, and I don't find them to be stylish. But now I think that the younger generation does, and I don't like it.
It's a classic. It really is.
I know.
It's the bell-bottom jeans of coats.
As I'm poo-pooing, they need to bring back starter jackets. Starter jackets.
Which one was that?
That was the one. They were really popular in the 90s. They were warm, but they had like a windbreaker material on the outside.
Yeah.
You usually pulled them over. Charlotte Hornets was always my starter jacket. I really didn't know anything that the Charlotte Hornets were doing, but for some reason that was the jacket that I was sporting.
And so it had the team logo, and it's sort of a silky, like not quite shiny, but almost shiny material.
Yes.
Like a matte shiny.
Yes, and yes.
Okay. And very thin.
Yes. Okay. We're going to have to bring that back. Maybe on the show. Okay. Anyway, enough of the jackets.
Yeah. Sorry.
No. It's fine. It's just that I want that to live on the show because I think that just because I want to see, as far as texts go, how many kids are actually buying letter jackets
now. Are they back?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So next thing.
Yes. Next.
You said stop reading.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, so here's the thing. This just popped out in front of me right before the podcast. I'm going to read it to you. I'll read a couple comments, and I have a question.
Okay.
The headline, Madonna eats topless.
The picture. It is...
I have to read some of the comments.
Yeah, go for it.
Now, nothing was overly complimentary, but okay. So
and it's soup. Who is eating soup topless? It's hot and because if it goes back into the bowl, splashes up on your tatas, that's gonna hurt. This does not make sense. Now I clean naked.
I knew that. That I knew.
Because I don't want bleach on my clothes.
Makes sense.
So I like to clean.
And it's good if you actually accidentally sit in some bleach, because then you get the bleached butthole too.
Exactly. Because nobody wants a brown star anymore, just a white star. So
probably not the right way to do that.
That I can understand. Eating naked. Okay. My boyfriend calls me Allie Stain because and we've talked about this on the show. The theory is big boobed girls always get stains on their shirts. Now, I can understand not wanting to get a stain on your shirt. And she's got huge tatas now. Have you seen Madonna's tatas?
No. I mean, I did back in the 90s, but everybody has.
They're fake and they're massive.
Oh. Wow. Well, they did say that she paired the look of with full glam and a massive necklace. Afterwards, the fans had a lot to say. One wrote, "Hurting for attention, are we?" Another said, "This looks disgusting for some reason." Another
said, "I don't know why. I don't know how to describe this, but it is absolutely like a car wreck. I don't want to look, but I'm going to look.
Another fan commented, she has been nude for nearly nude her entire adult life. Not really news. So
that is true too.
So, but here's my question. So you have preached this, and we have had so many women that have jumped on. This topic's come up over the years more than once on the show, and the first thing you do when you get home, you're a girl, you do what?
Oh, take my bra off.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I know they're really becoming the sweater kittens at that point because they're underneath the sweater still. Mm-hmm. But in reality, you talked about Allie Stain. Have you ever thought about eating topless? Seriously?
No.
Just get on some chicken wings.
Because the feeling of anything, chicken wing sauce on my boobies, mustard.
See, I don't know what this feels like because I don't have boobs. I'm working on it.
Mustard, ketchup. But even if you get it on your chest, it's a gross feeling. I'd rather honestly have my clothes catch it, or I should just start wearing a bib, to be honest with you.
Maybe the bib is the way to go. Maybe you should be topless and wear like a lobster bib.
And I hate bashing other women, but my God, the first comment was right. You're hurting for attention.
Yeah.
That's all you're doing. And her face looks great, by the way.
Oh, listen, she's Madonna. She can afford the work.
Madonna has been getting too much work, and her face has been very discombobulated for a long time. But all of a sudden, I don't know. I don't know if she like reversed some stuff or she stopped getting the filler, stopped getting the Botox. I don't know. But she looks good. And I don't need it. I don't need your boobs. I don't.
You just don't.
You know
need
what? If I wanted them, I'm going to go buy them on OnlyFans.
All right, let me ask you this: if you suddenly and don't say anything, just do it. Do you and Zach ever eat with like the TV trays in the living room?
No,
you don't.
No, we don't own those, but we do eat in the living room pretty much every night. Although we've been trying to, at least I have been trying to eat at a table because I feel like
something to rest your boobs on.
Something to rest my boobs on. And I feel like our communication gets broken down, and we're not great when we're always eating dinner in front of the TV, because then we're not talking to each other. So I will initiate sitting at the table. And that was one of the things when we did some couples therapy, that was one of our goals, was we would sit at the table and eat dinner. So then we would actually talk. So I feel like I'm the initiator, not to take credit, but I feel like I'm the initiator of we eat dinner at the table and then we conversate.
So if you were to, and here, this sounds like an experiment. If you were to get the dinner out on the table, and you've already taken your bra off because you did that the first minute you walked through the door.
Yes, I did.
What if you just, I don't know, pop your shirt off and start eating? What do you think Zach would do?
I think he'd be like, go put your shirt on.
Is that what he would say?
Yes.
Because I'm thinking this could be a great diet for guys.
Actually, I'll tell you why. So Zach is very compartmentalized with everything. And if he's eating, he's eating. He doesn't, there's nothing else needs to be happening or thinking about. Let's say, for instance, I may or may not have sent a sexy text message to him during the day.
Oh, yes.
And he doesn't really respond. So I've asked him, why do you not respond? Like, if you got a sexy text message from 6059, wouldn't your response back be something like, yeah, and I can't wait to see those boobies at the dinner table later or something, right?
I'm going to try that text.
He doesn't respond and doesn't entertain the conversation. And I'm like, why are you not responding to my sexy text message? It might be, something like later on, let's do, I'll do, we'll do, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And he will come back.
I'll do dinner topless.
Yes, right. Let's say that's my text message. I want to have dinner topless later or something. And the reason is he's like, I'm not trying to pop a boner at work. So I think when he's eating at the dinner table, I think it's also very compartmentalized. He's like, no, job right now is eat.
Because we all know Allie would sit across the table. I didn't know we were having sausage for dinner with this ham.
Right.
Okay,
wait, I got to flip that back on you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, if 6059 ripped her shirt off at the dinner table, would it really get you going?
I don't know that it would get me going in that moment, but I'm starting to wonder, could this be a great diet for guys? Like, our mind starts to wander away from the plate. You see what I'm saying?
I think you would just start laughing
Well, yeah, now reading this story and knowing it but think about this. We are driven as men. Well, there's one thing I'll say before we are driven as men. I understand, Zach, and the compartmentalization. I really do. I think this is a huge guy thing. I think that when it comes to life multitasking, I think the women are better at it. I just think that, and this is my opinion, I can do multitasking, but there are certain things I struggle with. Like if you and I are doing something, it's got to be, show-wise, it's got to be, or a podcast, it's got to be something really that's going to tear me away to need to respond right away. I kind of feel like if a sexy text message came in during the podcast, which we're doing right now, I would not be able to respond to it right now because my mind would wander too much. I would be elsewhere.
Yeah, but also you could finish the podcast and let's say I'm working on websites and you start to work on whatever you're working on, some sort of,
20 years, she has no clue what I do.
Well, I'm just saying, you're doing something that requires, you were working with an Excel spreadsheet earlier.
Yeah, sure.
Or a Google sheet. So let's say you go back to that project. Can't you respond with something sexy after the podcast, but still during the workday? So that way I can get excited, later on, I know I'm going to come home and it's going to be so fun.
It's Topless Thursday.
And it's Topless Thursday.
But yes, but no. You said it yourself. Why can't you respond to me when that's happening? Because I don't want to pop wood at work. So if we're in the midst of a 30-minute podcast and you've texted right at the onset of the podcast and he's not responded, I feel, now this is where it switches around. I feel the female brain goes, where's my instant gratification? I just sent him this. He should be responding at that beck and call at that moment. That's a sexy text. So you see where I get where he comes from on this.
But also, okay, say he doesn't respond right then and there, at least within 30 minutes, 50 minutes, even an hour, can I get a response? He just won't do it at work at all. He shuts it down. It is no, I'm not going to even entertain this because then if he responds back, then I'm going to respond. And then it's going to be like ping pong.
Next thing you know, you're both naked on the other end of the phone.
And I have to sit in a studio with you. So I don't want to be naked.
Gosh, yeah.
Right. I don't want to be naked while you're here in the studio.
But doesn't a little piece of you going, you as the woman going, he's not responding yet. Doesn't that drive you a little crazy? Even 30 minutes, you're like, wow, that was 29 minutes and 58 seconds.
Does it drive me crazy? A little bit, but I also, just in my personal relationship, I know how Zach and I operate. We don't text a ton during the day. Mm-hmm. He's very busy at work. I pretend I'm very busy at work. And so I don't get worried if he doesn't text me.
All right. Okay. Now,
not a big deal.
Wrapping up the Madonna eating topless question. You have 30 seconds. The top 3 foods you would never eat topless.
Soup, number one.
Okay, we knew soup because that was, yes.
Okay. The second one I'm going to say is ribs.
Ribs. Okay. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
And because they're always very saucy.
Yep,
so there's sauce.
Very saucy.
Mm-hmm. And the third one is going to be, I'm going to say a real juicy burger, because if it's a juicy burger,
the oil squirts.
Yes, exactly.
Oil squirts.
Uh-huh. Okay, name your 3 foods.
Oatmeal, because if oatmeal if it drops, it seems to stay hot for a long time.
And plops.
Yes, and plops.
Second one.
I'll flip-flop that to the cold version, cottage cheese. Because now you're freezing the tatales.
And then you got to say ice cream, right?
Well, ice cream rarely makes it off my spoon.
Okay.
No.
Isn't it funny how you drop cottage cheese, but you can't drop ice cream?
Right. Hot chicken wings.
Yeah. That's coinciding with ribs. Yeah.
So those are the ones. Because obviously soup you should not do. Soup I can barely keep in my mouth. I don't know what's happening.
I know. It's always like I have a hole in my mouth.
Well, thank you, Madonna, for shooting
who
right in.
Who is she eating with? So she's taking a picture. Isn't she married? Hold on.
I don't know if Madonna's married right now.
I thought she was married to somebody much younger.
And what job description do you get if you're Madonna's social media person? Okay, so today I'm going to eat soup topless and you're going to film that. Or does that just go along with Madonna?
I think she does her own social media. Her social media says she does her own social media. Same with Britney Spears. Britney Spears' social media absolutely says she does her own social media.
Okay.
Because it's a train wreck. By the way, did you see she got married the other day?
I was going to say that. I saw the wedding dress. I'm like, oh, that's...
But did you see what it eventually came out to be?
No.
She married herself.
Thank God. So
friggin-
is she officially off the market then?
She's friggin' crazy.
Well, right. Is she officially off the market?
Madonna is not married.
Oh.
But she is currently dating soccer player Akeem Morris. Madonna has been in 2 previous marriages to Sean Penn and then Guy Ritchie. Wow, I thought she got married after Guy Ritchie.
I thought so too.
And how crazy is it that Guy Ritchie seems way more sane? Sean Penn seems way more sane than Madonna.
Or Britney Spears.
or yes.
All right, I got one other thing before, because I have a game and I know you have something too. What do you think about this phrase? Now, this was first coined in 1988, okay? You not this phrase. You've heard the phrase bimbo, and it's a derogatory...
I haven't heard that word in
you haven't heard bimbo in a minute?
years.
So, in your mind, describe a bimbo.
A loose woman.
Oh, I was going to say usually kind of a ditzy. Ditzy. The old definition of a bimbo was very pretty, very ditzy, probably big boobed, giggly, and blonde.
Wasn't that an 80s term, bimbo?
Very much.
Hold on a second.
Now, interestingly enough, you're good. Interestingly enough, this phrase that I'm about to whip out on you, coined in 1988, himbo, is a popular characterization of the beefiness, stupidity, and kindness, and they're kind, that you might find in a guy. So what do you think about himbos coming back? And do you know a himbo? You don't have to mention names.
Oh, God. I'm trying to think, do I know somebody who is really good looking, dumb guy?
And kind.
And kind.
Let's not forget that.
I mean, I know some dumb guys. I know some good looking guys. I don't know if I know. I can think of one that kind of like is a fleeting thought, but it's weird because there are definitely some unintelligent guys. They rarely have all of those things that you just said.
Oh, the beefiness and the, I think it's very cliche.
I think so too.
Of the old, gym rat, the guy that would be in there for 5 hours during the day, and you're like, what does this guy do for a living? You know
what though? And here's me, like a half glass full kind of person. I feel like they are good at something. Guys are much better with this.
Yeah, pump and iron.
But yes, hear me out. Guys are much better at this. You guys really will hyper focus on something and get enthralled in it.
Back to compartmentalizing.
Yes, get enthralled in it. But it's good because you're really good at that thing. So even if you're a gym rat, you might be really good at that. You're good at figuring out workouts and food plans and body composition and all these things that is not in my wheelhouse. So I have to give you credit because you really are invested in that.
Well, like I was saying, we have not heard the word bimbo in forever, and now himbo, which you may have heard much less. Don't be surprised if somebody that's in a younger circle, because these words always come back, somebody that's in a younger circle, I don't know, 20 years old, starts, texting going, oh, he's a total himbo. Don't forget what it means.
I also think now, at this point in my life, because I'm a little bit older, is that now you have life experience. So when I was in college, definitely some himbos.
Yeah.
But now you have life experience behind you. You've found your education somewhere. Maybe not college educated. Maybe not. You're not the smartest. You're not the brightest crayon in the box. But there's something that you found in your life.
I got you.
Yeah.
I forgot. I was going to read you this quote on the air today, and I totally forgot about it, so I'll read it here on the podcast.
Sure.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
A 2-income household and a healthy relationship is so important.
Yeah.
Make sure you make your husband lunch so he doesn't get hungry at his second job.
Oh my God, I love it. That's so great.
I forgot to read you that earlier.
But I'll tell you what, I am not the person to make Zach lunch.
No.
No.
You know what we do in the morning, and then we'll move on. You said you had something, and I have hopefully a fun little game.
Well, we're gonna do the game first.
Oh, we could do the game first. We're very much the up in the morning together, packing collaboratively.
That's so great.
The way we do it, because I mean, yes, certainly I would, I mean, if I'm making myself, that makes it sound like if I'm doing it for me, I'll do it for her. I didn't mean it like that. I would most certainly pack 60-59 a lunch. However, that's also when I pack my lunch. So it just seems like the thing to do. Hey, do you want some of this? Because I'm packing some of this too.
Yeah.
And kind of go from there. But
I love that.
to do it alone on my own, I don't necessarily know that it would work out that way. I'm not saying I wouldn't do it, if she needed the help and said that, but we do it just collaboratively.
It's the same as, because I bet you, and I don't know, but I bet you're thinking, well, I don't know what she's in the mood to eat that day. So let's say, for instance,
I just want to make sure she takes something, because she's one of those people that'll work through the day without, she'll like eat one little cup of mac and cheese, and I'm like, how did that hold you over?
Okay, but let's say she does not get up with you, and what I'm hearing is like, I'm not going to pack for her if she wasn't awake with me, because or at least this is what I think is, I don't know what she's in the mood for. I don't know what she wants to eat. This is how I think, at least. Like, I'm not going to pack for Zach, number one, because you're a grown-ass man. Number two, I don't know what you're in the mood for. So pack your own lunch.
Yeah.
Whatever that may be, which is weird when, like, one significant other packs for the other. Well, what if they're not in the mood for that?
Well,
it's the same as packing clothes.
But you know what? I never remember my mom asking. Okay, my mom, God love Betty, she was the stay-at-home mom, probably the last generation that could do it.
Mm-hmm.
I was, a really baby in the early 70s, and was still am. But it was
Man,
one of those.
baby.
Yes, but she was probably the last of what you would see as a large number of the stay-at-home moms. I'm not saying now. And I've said this too. My mother actually had a career before she became a stay-at-home mom. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of, she had done it.
Do you see the sacrifice that she made for you?
Yes, Allie, thank you. Thank you. A lot of it too, but here nor there. I think that I don't ever remember her asking my dad, do you want tuna today? It was just packed. It's just packed.
And that's the same. My mom packed for me when I was a kid. And it's so weird because at the time, and I think this is also why I will not pack for Zach, because there were times I would get something and I'm like, ew, I don't want that.
You didn't want the meatloaf sandwich?
Whatever she was packing, I didn't want it. So I'm not going to pack for you. You make your own decisions, whatever you're feeling that day. It's the same as, and I know this will eventually come up on the show because we've talked about this recently off the air, which we're actually off the air right now. But anyway.
Well, you know what.
So yeah. But and this is the same reason why I'm not going to pack your clothes for a vacation either. I don't know what you want to wear. I don't know what you're in the mood for. So you pack your own clothes. I pack my own clothes. You pack your own food. I pack my own food.
Fair enough. I do love the collaborative, though. That makes me feel good. Yeah.
You know the thing about packing clothes? I have to tell you this. The thing about packing clothes, and we always joke like, oh, why do you pack like 18 pairs of underwear when you're going on a 4-day trip, right?
Yeah.
The other day, one of my girlfriends totally shit her pants.
Why do we always laugh when we hear somebody shit their pants?
And she goes, you know how we always joke about why do we pack 18 pairs of underwear for a 4-day trip? She goes, that is why. Because I got so sick on this trip and I totally had to pull over in Starbucks and go take my pants off in the coffee shop.
Oh my God.
Like she literally. So
she was like sick, because I feel bad. Like I feel most women. I mean, I know a lot of women can't not pee when they laugh or cough because they've had a kid or something like that. Yeah. But I feel you have great control over your sphincters, more so than the guys. Like
she does not.
We're the breed that she does not.
Well, by the way, her sickness is she got so much anxiety over traveling. So not only did she have it,
because she only packed 17 pair of underwear, not 18.
She is just an anxiety-ridden person. She was so anxious about this trip, and then drank like a double shot espresso drink. She said,
"Oh God, that's gonna shoot out of you."
Right? She was just asking for it, and then her husband, because she's like, "You got to get off the exit right now, right now." So he does, and then he's like, well, where should I go? Should I go to Chick-fil-A?
Yeah, I know.
She was like
you're deciding.
I gotta take a shit.
And then he spent 10 years finding a parking
Yes,
spot.
yes.
Well, maybe, but I want to be able to get off the or I want to get back on the highway easily. Him hauling, which is totally him.
It's all guys. You take us off an exit where we don't know where we are. You may be having a baby. I'm going to tell you to hold that little fucker in until we find the right spot.
So what happens? Poop your pants.
Yeah.
Poop your pants.
Yes, that is such a guy thing, trying to figure out the exact perfect spot to be.
So, advice for the day: pack the 18 pairs of underwear.
Yeah. Have yourself ready.
Okay, we only have time for the game.
Okay.
All right, give me the game. I'll get to my thing next week. It's about a bachelorette party, by the way.
Oh, all right. So I have been weirdly, all right, Allie, for those of you that don't know, or if you do pay attention to the show, Allie is the murder mystery queen. Or if you don't. Allie's the murder mystery queen of the two of us.
Yeah.
You will watch all the docuseries, all the documentaries. You ingest more about murder than I think anybody I've ever seen. But it's not so much you're looking for a tutorial on how to do it. You are always looking at how did they get away with it? How did they catch them?
Also, what makes them think to do that? Or like one of them... well, and we're going to talk about this on the show too, or by the time this airs, this will already have been talked about. I just was listening to a book about abductions. So this doesn't have to do with murder, but it has to do with abductions.
Well, the same thing, these crime drama type things.
Right, and holding these 3 women prisoner for 10, some of them were 10 years, some of them were 9 years. And I'm like, I just want to know what was going through his mind. This book was great because it did give you kind of a little bit of an insight into why he did it.
Wow.
I know. So that's why I really enjoy these.
Yeah. Well, because of that, and this is where this game comes from. I got really suckered into the details of this show on Netflix called Woman of the Hour. And partly because it deals with an old 1970s game show, the dating game. Match Game, also a 70s show. But it dealt with that, and there was a serial killer on one of the episodes. This is all
true
based...
story.
Yeah, true story. Obviously, things get changed a little bit for the adaptation to where it is in Netflix, but the story was true. And let me tell you, the 70s, a time for the serial killers.
Oh, yeah.
The Ted Bundys of the world. I mean, you figure the 70s, 80s, the end of the 60s, all that. What a wild time for all of that stuff. Now, maybe technology really wasn't where it is today to be able to find these people quicker.
That's right.
But it was fascinating. Now, maybe some of it is because what they do in this, and I've yet to see the actual Netflix show. I'm going to do that. But I love it to see how they recreate the look of that era. Because if you think of the 70s, it was a bold look time. And it was everything was bold about it.
Yep.
The clothes were bold. The look of the sets for the shows, they were bold. TV, even shows, were just much bolder in that area. You think about this. Shows like All in the Family. It was a 70s TV show. You could not remake that show today. You would be canceled immediately. But it was an era where you got away with more. You were able to really push the envelope. So I went back looking for this, and I found a bunch of questions from the old Family Feud. You remember that show?
Oh, that was one of my favorite shows. We would come home and watch that all the time.
Well, I was thinking about this. You go back to the era of Richard Dawson. Now, he was a guy very popular in the 70s, late 60s, 70s, into the early 80s. And he was the host of the show really for like my entire childhood. I remember him. And he'd go up and kiss all the contestants.
Also something you could not get away with now. But
no,
yes, I know.
I don't think so.
I think Bob Barker used to be a kisser too, wasn't he?
For a while, but stories came out about Bob Barker. You remember that with well, anyway, I don't want to ruin Bob just passed, didn't he?
It wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, anyway, don't want to ruin all that. But I found old questions. Now, these are questions before the technology that we have today, which makes so many of these answers very easy to answer.
Okay.
So I wanted to give you a couple, and we'll see where your answer, if it does fall on these. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. So here we go. We're gonna go with this right here. First question: name a house you've never wanted to be in. Name a house you've never wanted to be in. Oh, and I should say it like this: top 100 people surveyed. Go ahead.
Amityville house.
Number one answer: haunted house.
Ah, yeah.
Wow.
Well, I got really specific.
Next on the board, jail or big house. Nobody wants to be there.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking that.
But the term big house. When's the
Yeah,
last
yeah,
time you
the
heard
big
big house?
house.
You know? Dog house, drug house. There's the one, the drug
Why?
house.
Now everybody wants to be in that one.
That's true. Small house, glass house, cat house, or outhouse. All right.
Oh, an outhouse at Bonnaroo? Ew.
Oof. All right. Name something associated with vampires. Top 100 people surveyed.
Blood.
Number 2. Do you want to try to go for number 1?
Garlic.
Twilight.
Oh, really?
20 years old, just so you know.
Oh my gosh.
Garlic number 3 answer. Bat, cape, Dracula, fangs. Okay.
Gosh. Yeah,
let's see. Here we go.
I love this.
This is a classic one. We're going for what number 1 is, but we'll see where you land.
Okay.
Name something in a bakery a baker might call his wife. Name something in a bakery a baker might call his wife. Go right ahead.
Muffin.
Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the list. You want to go for number 1?
Yeah. Cupcake.
Number 4 on the list.
Oh my God.
Keep going.
Cheesecake.
Not on the list.
Okay.
Yeah. Number 1 on the list, honey or buns. Honey buns.
Oh, okay.
Number 2 on the list is the weirdest answer.
Yeah, but do you really see honey that much in a bakery?
Well, honey
That
buns
seems
you do. Number 2, here's the dated answer. His oven. Think about it. A bun in the oven. You were made to breed back in the 70s. That's all you were good for. Flat-toed shoes. Get up to that oven, lady.
That's why he loves this show.
The last one,
Okay.
and don't ever call your lady this, doughy.
Oh God, no.
No. All right. Here you go. You want another one?
One more, yeah.
All right. Let me see here if I can't find one more.
By the way, cupcake and muffin are the best.
Cupcake and muffin are the best.
Yes, those are the answers. I want him to call me cupcake or muffin.
Okay. I'm trying to see if I can
Sweet
get
little muffin top.
Yeah. There it is.
Sometimes a little crumble.
Okay. Name something that a doctor might pull out of a person.
Baby.
Number 2 on the board.
Oh my God. A Barbie doll.
Not
cucumber.
Not on the board. Neither on the board.
Oh, tonsils. Tonsils.
Not on the board.
Oh my God.
Would you like one to help you?
Yes.
A tumor.
Oh yeah.
Not number 1.
Can we say teeth?
Yes. Number 1, 2, 3, 4 on the board.
Okay, something else that a doctor
I'll give
would...
you the last one, and then you
Okay.
try to figure out the first one. You'll never get it. A bullet was on the list.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 1 answer, 32% of people answered
Do you
out
want
of
to give me
our
a
top.
hint?
What?
Give me a hint.
Small.
That's not a good hint. Give me a-
Shaved.
Shaved.
Number 1 answer,
wiener?
according to 32 of the top
Is this
100.
like your dogs? Did we get stuck together? Oh my God.
Oh God! Of the top 100 people surveyed, 32 people answered a gerbil.
No.
God is my witness.
Stop it!
Number
I did
1 answer.
They were naughty in the 70s.
Yes, they were.
Whoa. That gerbil thing has been circulating since then?
Oh, it's been around forever. Forever.
No. And you know it had to come somewhere. It's like the hot dog girl. I know everybody knows the hot dog girl, but that literally had to come from somewhere.
Every school, every
Yes.
single one of them
Yes.
had that. Yes.
Oh my God, that is great. Gerbil.
I don't know where else we can go after that.
No.
I think it's a good place to wrap it up.
I think so too. Next week, bachelorette party thing. We'll talk about the bachelorette party thing for sure.
Okay, you guys have a great week.
Bye.
Well, that was fun. Wasn't that fun? That was fun. Do us a favor, will you? Subscribe. Share the Scott and Alley Not for Air podcast. Touch our buttons. We know you want to.